Welcome to the Jeremy and Andy Talk Movies podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Andy.
And Andy, I just want to know, what's the worst storm that you've ever been in?
I've been on this earth for 45 years. Never once have I been in a storm so bad that it drags flesh eating animals into the equation. Yet I have seen movies in which sharks, alligators, who knows what else, have been drug into the situation via a storm. It's yet to ever happen to me.
That's shocking considering that you live in central Illinois.
It is, isn't it? It's really
Yeah.
hard to believe a shark has never made its way into my home through a thunderstorm.
Yeah, there's been no tornadoes that have carried Sharknado style into your area. Yeah.
Now, I have
So we
watched
are
the
talking
Sharknado
about,
series
yeah.
several times. I don't know if that counts, but
We'll count it. So today we are going to be talking about the new Netflix shark movie, Thrash. And I don't know what it is, man. Every time I hear there's a new shark movie, I'm like, yeah, let's give it a shot. Even though historically, we've talked about this before, not the greatest track record, but uh, you know, we're just always got our fingers crossed for a good one.
it's really fascinating why we keep coming back to shark movies, and clearly people do because they just keep making them. There's so many shark movies, and I'm exactly the same as you. It's well known on here that Jaws is my favorite movie. So in a lot of ways, these shark movies are an insult to me. They are an insult to Jaws, which is the greatest. Um, and yet I get sucked into them. Like I tune in and I watch them. What was last year? Under Paris, was that what that was called?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is. It's like they hypnotize us and they make us watch these shark movies.
Yeah. So let's give a brief summary of this one, and then we'll jump into whether or not this one can beat the trend and be a good shark movie. So when a hurricane floods a small town, it brings with it a bunch of bull sharks that are looking to feed on the stragglers. Now a few people must struggle to survive as the waters rise and hope fades. Andy,
Oh, yeah.
was Thrash good?
Best movie of the year. No, this is so stupid. Look, there's just nothing left to do with these shark movies. There's just not. you know, I don't know because it's funny they keep making them. Netflix, Amazon. You go to any streamer, and there's so many shark movies, and it feels like they would have to be a little bit of a pain to make because it's a lot of CGI. It's a lot of actors in water. It seems like it's a lot of trouble to go through. So I really don't understand why they get pumped out at such a high rate. If it was just I understand I don't like it, but I understand why these terrible, low budget, generic slasher movies get made because they're quick and easy to make. These shark movies did not feel like they were quick and easy to make, and yet we keep getting them, and we have just run out of ideas. We just have.
Andy, I'm happy to report to you that your favorite movie, as you mentioned, Jaws, can rest assured that its place as the greatest shark movie is safe and secure. In
It
fact,
is.
from its perch on the top of that hill, it can't even see or hear the rubbish that is Thrash in the valley below. This movie
Yeah,
sucks.
it does. It's
First
just
off,
stupid.
it's a crummy ripoff of 2019's Crawl, which was an overachieving B movie about alligators in a flooding town. Uh,
Yes.
it, it was literally just like it, except for worse. Uh,
Yeah.
the characters of this movie suck. It's always hard enough to feel sorry for the people that don't get out of the evacuation zones when they have time to get out of the evacuation zones. But then it's just like dumb decision after dumb decision,
Yeah.
and the dialogue is so bad. The dialogue in
Yeah.
this movie is terrible. I keep thinking the poor guy who plays Jaimin Hansu's friend or like partner in the movie.
Yeah.
I think he
Yes.
probably had 20 lines in the movie, and every one of them was just going, "Oh my god," while looking at a screen. because a new like hurricane or a new shark alert or something. It's like all he had to do in the entire movie, and every character was just this very like cliche, one-dimensional, one-beat character throughout the movie.
Yeah, it's so bad. Um, yeah, I mean, it's you know, I could spend so much time like comparing how like Jaws succeeded where this failed, but that is insulting to Jaws. I mean, there's nothing to even compare here because, like you said, Jaws is still at the top of the mountain. This not even be seen. So my whole thing is like, if you're going to give these movies, which we shouldn't, but if you are, I don't know. I mean, do you just go full like? Honestly, I would rather watch a Sharknado movie than watch this because at least you could watch that with a buddy. Like you and I can sit and watch a Sharknado movie and have a good laugh and point out all this stupid stuff and roll our eyes together. But like you try to watch this movie with someone and you just sit there and there's nothing to say. Like just stop making these. You're
This is
done. It's done and over.
this is like an all-time check your phone while you're watching it movie. Like I can't.
Yeah.
This is so boring. I can't pay attention. Let me check my phone. I had in my notes, Andy, a very similar thought. I said this barely felt higher quality than Malibu Shark Attack. Yes, a film I have seen in its entirety. Only this one doesn't have the same ridiculous, campy fun of that movie. If given the choice, I'd rewatch Malibu Shark Attack, a movie whose villain is prehistoric goblin sharks. Goblin Sharks,
Yeah.
Andy. That's the movie I would rather watch than this movie because at least that one is friggin' hilarious.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Trailer Park Shark. I'd rather watch Ozark Shark. I'd rather watch Six Headed Shark Attack. I'd rather watch Five Headed Shark Attack. I'd rather watch Zombie Shark. These are all real movies that exist. They're all on Tubi because I was on there earlier tonight looking at all their shark movies. Mutant Shark. I think there was one called Vampire Shark. There's one called Santa Jaws, which is like a shark that somehow merges with like a Christmas tree. Literally, all of these movies, I would rather watch than this. I mean, this is terrible. This is so bad. I'd rather watch. Yeah, I can keep going. What is there like? There's one called like Sharkensaw Prison Massacre or something like that. I mean, just I can keep going. I mean, because at least those movies know they're ridiculous. The most obnoxious thing that these movies can do is to insult us by taking themselves seriously. You know, like, don't insult me. This is terrible. Stop acting like you're some kind of good movie and you have good characters. This is terrible.
Don't have good characters. They don't have good like tension building. It's just nothing in this movie. Like I said, this movie is a snooze fest. I literally just kept looking at my phone because I was so bored watching this movie. Uh, we talked about it on that Under Paris episode because Under Paris had a famous like advertisement line that said like the best shark movie since Jaws. And I made the point on that podcast like that sounds really good because Jaws came out 50 years ago, and so to be the best one in the last 50 years would sound like something. But then I said, but beating out what? Like, what
Yeah.
is the best shark movie that's not Jaws? And we had a good laugh about the fact that like it's really hard to pick. You're like asking like, hey, is it as simple as like just Jaws 2 as much as a step down as it was, or are we going like silly fun of Deep Blue Sea? Like the next best Jaws or shark movie is a really gigantic drop off. It's not a big claim to be the second best one. This movie's not gonna take that position, but it's just we said this again on that Under Paris episode. It just continues to make Jaws more impressive because
Yes.
you would think that the innate interestingness of sharks, a creature that like the Discovery Channel can put a week of sharks on, and it's their most popular week. A channel nobody watches, but because sharks are so interesting, people will watch Shark Week. Why can people not make an interesting movie out of this? Why do we have one of the greatest movies of all time and then a bunch of crap? It just blows my mind that that's all we've gotten. One of the greatest, nothing else that's particularly good.
It's truly fascinating. It really, really is. And you're right. There is such a cultural interest around sharks. But I swear, it's just the Jaws effect. I mean, the right answer to all of this is that, and I know this is going to be obnoxious coming from me because I'm such a Jaws fanboy, but like Jaws just eh, Spielberg did so good. He made such a good movie that he won the battle 50 years ago. And nothing is ever going to come close to that. They're just not. And the right answer is that everyone should have just stopped trying immediately after Jaws came out. Hollywood as a whole, and they should have passed this on to the future generations, should have just said, hey, shark movies are off limits because we've done it. Like we did it and you're gonna fail. So just don't do it.
Yeah. Can I submit to you maybe the answer to this whole second best shark movie thing is Dangerous Animals? And maybe the thing that it did correctly is it's really more of a serial killer movie than a shark movie. He just happens to use sharks as his method of serial killer. Like maybe that's the correct answer. But actually, I was thinking about this and it made me posit a theory, Andy, that I think the reality is that we can only ever have one good movie from each type of possible animal attack, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why we've only got one good Jurassic Park movie, despite the fact that we keep making Jurassic Parks and there's kind of like all these dumb shark movies. There's all kinds of dumb dinosaur knockoff movies. We've had one good one, the original Jurassic Park. That's it. We only needed one, and none of the other ones have been able to be good. You know, we've got. I'm a fan of Ghost in the Darkness. We got one good lion movie. There's been a bunch of lion movies. There's not been any other good ones. You know, you could probably go down the list of like you only ever get one good this kind of creature movie. We got the good shark movie 50 years ago. We can't have another good one. It's the rule of ones with these animal attack movies. You can only have one killer albino monkeys in the Congo movie, and that was Congo, Andy.
Any chance we get to defend Congo, I'm a happy camper. Um, as usual, your theories are amazing and correct, and that's the thing. Like, there's so many alien in outer space or alien from outer space movies because there are just a lot of different angles you can approach that from, and history has proven that to be correct.
Yeah.
Close Encounters, E.T., Alien, Aliens, Arrival. The list goes on. Independence Day, in their own right, all these movies are good and or fun, and they all take different approaches. But yeah, there's just only you can just only do animal attacks people in so many ways, and unfortunately for everyone who's tried, the first person that really did it was Steven freaking Spielberg, and you know maybe he should be glad these movies keep coming out because it just like people already consider him at the top of the mountain or pretty close, and this you know just highlights that point even more. What's really amazing to me, I truly don't understand the mindset of Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of these big streamers who keep greenlighting these shark movies. I don't understand what they think they're going to gain from. I mean, I guess they have to do like we always talk about. You really don't know how they do, but they must draw streamers to their platform, I guess, because they just keep getting greenlit.
Yeah, it's because it's all about I mean, it's all about just getting the watches, right? The clicks on the movie and watching it. I don't even know if people have to watch it in the entirety because I don't know how streaming numbers work. But I think it just has that like most basic appeal enough for people to not know really what it is and be like, town floods, people are surviving sharks. That sounds interesting. Let's give it a shot. And Netflix makes so many of their movies based on this. Can you do a quick logline pitch that people will click on? And this has that quick logline pitch that people will click on and watch enough of it to go, or maybe they just keep it on while they do other things, scroll their phone like I did, and then they get their numbers.
I don't know, but it really needs to stop. And I saw not too long ago where they're maybe this year, maybe next year, there's supposedly like an Under Paris 2 is coming out. I'm just like, oh my gosh, when will it ever end?
It will never end, Andy. And here's the other thing. As good as CGI is getting, I will say this. I was really impressed with like the shot of the flooding water coming into the town. Because I remember not what doesn't feel like that long ago. Now it was a long time ago when they made the Perfect Storm. And the Perfect Storm had a lot of like CGI storm in it. And hearing behind the scenes stuff where they're talking about water is the hardest thing to do with
Mhm.
CGI because for whatever all the like kind of movement and whatever it is with water, it makes it really hard to do. And so watching them CGI this water come bursting into this town is like, man, we've come a long way. Where even a movie like this, kind of clearly a B movie, can have this quality of water rushing into a town. You know? That said, then we get sharks that have terrible CGI. And I'm like, why can we still not have good sharks? I mean, the last scene. I mean, we're not doing a really good job of describing much of the actual movie, but they talk about this one great white in the movie, and you
Oh,
think that's going to be coming into the play somehow in the movie as like a big, scary last villain. But all that happens is one last bull shark charges this lady, and then the great white, takes out that shark. It's like it's a total T Rex taking out the Velociraptor at the end of Jurassic Park move.
it was
Something we've seen a
terrible.
bunch of times. But the CGI was terrible. That was the movie where I was part of the movie where I was most like, wow, this is really a B movie. That looked like the sharks from Malibu Shark Attack.
It's one of the most baffling things in all of Hollywood that, for like you said, for decades now, we have not been able to get CGI sharks right. And again, not to keep pointing back to Jaws, but unbelievable how a mechanical shark in the ocean in 1974 looks 700 billion times better than 2026 movies can do anything CGI sharks. It is truly fascinating how they cannot get CGI sharks right.
All right, a little technical difficulty. I don't know what happened, and I don't know where I was on any of my rants, so we're just going to jump back into it. But just talking a little bit about the movie itself. So it follows like a couple different characters. And the one thing that really irks me about this movie doesn't really build to anything, and I never really knew what we were building to,
No.
and it really felt like they started somewhere and it was supposed to go somewhere, but it never did. So, literally, in my notes, I wrote that this movie feels like they had about 30 pages of a script, and they were like, forget it. We'll just start filming and we'll fill it in as we go. But they never really got like more pages. So they were just like, what do we need to do to fill time? Just, I don't know, let's draw out this scene a little bit. I know, let's have the lame foster dad pop back up against all logic and have him be around for another 5 minutes before we kill him off again. It's just, there's, there's so many things like those three siblings, the three foster kids that are stuck in this house. I kept waiting for them to start like their adventure of trying to escape, but it never happened. They literally were just like kind of standing on a table in the kitchen for most of the movie, and then one of them finally swims down, gets some steaks, and picks up some dynamite conveniently, and they make their escape that way. But it's just like I don't know. That's all that happened. It kind of ended. And I was like, that was it. That's all we got from them, uh, and theirs might have been the best storyline because the other one was, the pregnant lady who, of course, isn't close enough to labor that she was at work and not leaving this evacuation zone. But then, as soon as the flood starts happening, she goes into labor immediately. She gives birth in the water at the end of this movie. In the most ridiculous scene, the sharks that have been just on it all the time are very slow to react to the fact that she has just filled the area around her with blood. Actually, a neat concept in like, oh, this woman's doomed. But then, like, one shark charges and she just takes a sharp piece of wood, and just like jabs the shark and deflects it, and then retrieves her baby that she put on a little box. And it's just like, this movie almost quite literally is jumping the shark. It's not jumping the shark, it's stabbing the shark with a
Yeah.
wooden beam, but it's the same idea.
It's a disaster. And all these disaster movies, all these like people stuck or people in peril movies, stop shoehorning pregnant women into it. It's been done to death. I mean, you go back to Die Hard, there's a pregnant woman. It feels like every one of these, flood, tornado, disaster, creature, there's always a pregnant woman. And I understand if done well, that could lead to like good tension and like, oh my gosh, what a nightmare to be in a situation and be pregnant and be giving birth. It's been done. That's another thing that Hollywood has just killed. Stop doing that. It's terrible.
Yeah. The most interesting thing about this movie, Andy, to me, it's not even really about the movie. It's that in the three foster sibling storyline, I kept thinking, what is this girl from? I know this girl from somewhere. And then I finally looked it up, and she's the actress who played young Furiosa the movie Furiosa. I was like, ah, that's cool, young Furiosa. I wish I was watching that movie right now.
Yeah, much. I first I want to go watch Jaws, and then I'll go watch Furiosa again. And that's too bad because I remember. I mean, we love Furiosa, and I just remember being like, "Oh, she does a really good job, like young Furiosa." And then
Yeah,
she just stuck in this movie with nothing to do.
yeah.
Such a bummer.
All right, and then this is a discussion I wanted to have a little bit with you, Andy, because this one it kind of makes me sad. Is Jaimin Hansu sort of the like most low key B movie actor ever? Like when I think of him, I think of him as like a real guy, like a real Hollywood guy. But it feels like he actually just really either gets nothing parts or he's in bad movies. And I can't figure out why this guy's not in better stuff. And I'm like, is it just me? Is he just a B movie actor and I refuse to accept it? Like, why is Jaimin Hunsu in this movie?
It's really strange. And you look back through his IMDb, like he's in Quiet Place Day One, which I think is an awesome movie, but he just doesn't have a lot to do in that. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, it's just a part that I mean that's an awesome movie too, but it didn't need to be Jaimin Hansu in it. And then at one point, Drax just like he's got like this metal thing in his head, and Drax just rips it out, and he's dead. Like I don't know. I'm not answering your question because I don't know. It's weird.
It really felt like he got off to like such a sort of prestige start. Now it probably wasn't really his start. He worked his way up to it, but like where we all got introduced to him, I first saw him in the movie Gladiator. We all know I'm not the biggest fan of Gladiator, but it's this really celebrated movie, and I would have agreed that like he's good in it.
Yeah.
And he's in a lot of like sort of serious movie period piece movies. He's in Blood Diamond with Leo. That was a movie that got a lot of
Yeah.
acclaim. Um, and then he shows up in fun movies as well. I mean, he's in a movie like The Island. Michael Bay's The Island, which uh, is all right.
Mhm.
But then you kind of go like past that. It's almost like right after Blood Diamond, it really went downhill. I mean, you start looking through the movies in, and there's a lot of like direct to video type movies. And then, like I said, those sort of small parts in movie. If it's a movie you have heard of, he's probably not got a very big part in it.
Yeah, it's really strange, but like he does have like a presence, and he can do like that. I've got to give a powerful speech, and like he is good at that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like the ability and the career don't necessarily match up. But then you get to looking at his IMDb, and it's like, oh, Guardians, or like he's definitely got some hits. It's a strange career. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it, it sounds unfair to say, but it just makes you go like, is he just not as good as I think he is? I don't know. Like I mean, and
I
that
don't
sounds
know.
mean to say, but maybe it's like he's got such a distinct kind of presence about him that maybe it only works for certain roles. He can't quite disappear into other types of parts. Maybe that's the problem. Uh, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
it
always
could
liked the
be.
guy.
I mean, the
And
solution for sure is to be in this movie.
no, because man, talk about like being wasted. Because not only is he too good for the movie, but like his part is kind of nothing in the movie. You kept waiting for the part where he shows up. He's trying to get to his niece, and it becomes like he's the like hero of the movie or something. It never really happens. I mean, he shows up at the very end to pick her up, and that's about it. It's like this whole thing of him being on the journey to get there, and it's like, why? It could have been just an anonymous person came through at the end, and the ending would have been about the same.
Yeah, it's like he signed on to this movie and he's like, "Hey, I'm not getting wet. I'm not getting in the water. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Leave me out of all that."
That's true. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe that's the answer. Maybe
Yeah.
it was a paycheck movie, and that's what he said. Here's my demands. I'll do your movie,
I,
but
I,
I'm not going to be the guy in the water the whole time. Uh,
right.
you also can a lot of times a giveaway about whether or not a movie has quality writing will come down to kind of like its closing lines of dialogue, especially in a movie like this. Like we've wrapped up all the
Hmm.
drama, like we're gonna have that lighthearted moment. Do we got anything clever to write? And the ending lines of this movie stuck out to me because they were just so random and bad. It's because Jaimin Hansu plays one of the main girl's uncle. Her her parents have both passed away, her mom more recently, and she's like traumatized from it and whatever. She has to like find her
Right.
bravery again in this situation. And at the end, he's like comforting her and he says, "Your mom would be proud of you." And she just kind of smiles and goes, "She was proud of me when I did like this art project as a 6 year old. So probably, you know," and they're like, "Ha ha ha." That's the closing line of the movie. I'm like,
It's
that's your closing line of the movie? That's all you that's like a placeholder you put in and go, "We'll figure out something better. Don't worry. We won't end with that."
it's so bad. Like so bad that like yeah, I mean like you watch the movie and you're like, "What?" Like that's how they decided to end this movie? Like not that anything would have saved it, but I can't believe that's how they ended this movie. It is spectacularly bad.
Yeah. And then, well, I should say that's the last, basically the last line of the movie. And then you get this like quick cut to the guy who has been in it briefly as like a
Oh,
meteorologist or something, the weather guy. He just looks at it's so many people looking at screens saying like, "Oh my gosh," and he sees one more like storm thing coming in, and you're like, "What is that supposed to be? Like the killer one last scare things? Oh, something big is coming. Oh, they're all still I don't know." It was just so random, and it didn't have
it's
any effect.
whatever they were going for, it fell completely flat. You're just like, okay, like I mean, this town's already destroyed. Is like the implication, like, oh, it's probably going to bring more sharks in, and you're like, no, nobody cares. This is just one stupid thing on top of another. It's so bad.
Yeah, it is. Um, Last thing I want to say, just because I meant to make this point earlier, and I'll feel bad that I didn't make this point. I feel like a common mistake that these movies make is that there's only so many characters, and I get that limited number of characters in this town once the floods happen that are stuck with the sharks. There's a limited number of characters, and you know right from the beginning which ones are going to live and which ones are going to die, and to like establish the stakes,
Yes.
the ones you know are going to die very quickly, and then you go, well, there's all the tension because I know the rest of these characters are living for the rest of this movie. I know they're not killing any of the three young siblings. I know they're not killing the pregnant lady and her baby, and I know they're not killing the young traumatized girl who's trying to get over her like fear of life because of her mother's death. All of them are living, and they're the only ones left in peril. So, what do I got left?
Yeah.
30 more minutes of movie.
Yeah.
Scroll my phone. Yeah,
Yeah, this movie just backs itself into a corner right off the or not right off the bat, but yeah, you're right. Like the ones you're gonna know are gonna die, and then you just go, oh great, we've got a decent chunk of movie left, and I know none of these. And that's the other thing that the whole pregnant lady thing is stupid. You know the baby's gonna be fine. They're not gonna make a movie where a newly born baby gets eaten by a shark. Like, come on, that's just stupid.
yeah. It's kind of infamously for me, a big impactful thing for me is watching behind the scenes of the movie Deep Blue Sea because there was a storyline where the one character, the one lady actress who's in the movie is married to Stellan Skarsgård's character. Uh,
Yeah,
she reveals in a deleted scene that she's pregnant, and we cut the scene because we were like, we can't have the pregnant lady get eaten by a shark later in the movie, and she gets eaten by a shark,
right.
and they're like, so we had to cut the scene. And I'm like, yeah, that stuck with me because I was like, that's a choice that a movie person had to be like, audiences won't accept it. Once we say she's pregnant, we can't have her get eaten by the shark, and that's the rule that they back themselves into, like you said in this movie.
Yeah, so once again, my theory, like stop shoehorning the pregnant lady into these disaster movies, please.
Yeah. And once again, we're going to keep going back to it. What makes Jaws such a perfect movie is that there's tension all the way up to the end. I mean, one of the key characters of the movie dies right at the very end of the movie, and you just never have that sense of like, I know exactly what's going to happen until you see it through.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, like I said, I could have done so many, this is why, Jaws succeeded and where this movie failed, but it just felt like such an insult to Jaws to do that.
You're right. It's not even fair. I was thinking about it. I was like, uh, comparing Jaws to these other shark movies would be like having prime Mike Tyson fighting children, just knocking them out,
Yeah,
just hitting them around, just
yeah.
beating them up. You're like, this isn't even fair. This is an
It's
unfair
just, yeah,
fight.
it's just an effortless win by Jaws.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. Like I'd never expect. I would bet everything I own that there will never be a shark movie that's as good as Jaws. But I'm still hopeful for that one that comes in and makes a clear claim at number two. Because, like I said, the gap is so wide. You know, Jaws and the next best one. I just want a movie to fill in right here.
Yeah, yeah, and right. So, and if, like I said, if you're not going to match the quality of Jaws, which you're not, then at least try and make your movie fun, or entertain me. Like that's the whole thing. I think your dangerous animals theory is right. Like, well, that scene when Jai Courtney's like dancing around in his underwear and a robe, and he's just going for it. It's like, okay, you're not gonna be prestige or match the quality of Jaws. So just lean into the ridiculousness and have fun with it. Like The Shallows is a okay shark movie. Like it's not even in the
You're
same
right.
realm of
You're right.
Jaws, but it's okay because it's like, oh, you put Blake Lively in a somewhat interesting situation. She's stuck out on this rock. What's she gonna do? So that's fine. And it's just fascinating how these movies come out and they just don't do anything right. Nothing. Not a thing. There's nothing right about this movie.
Yeah, there's nothing interesting. So you're right, and I think the thing that Dangerous Animals did also well, like you talk about the scene Jai Courtney dance around, like that's a funny scene, but it made sharks scary by giving us a different way to be scared of sharks. Right? It wasn't the same old like I'm out in a boat, shark hits the boat, knocks me over, and I can't get back in, and it's gonna come up. Like I've seen it; it's been done well before. This is what if somebody like ties you up in a harness and lowers you into the water, and you can't move, and you're just stuck in the water waiting for sharks to come get you while he dumps chum in the water. Like that's a whole new scary vision for the way that sharks could be terrifying to you.
It is. And all of these movies, all of these crappy streaming shark movies, they just do the same thing. Like, Jaws, of course, it is ridiculous. We talked about it. This shark is leaping up on this boat, and it is after Brody. But the shark in Jaws still felt like it was operating under some kind of like limitations of what an animal can do. And now all these shark movies they always have the scene where someone thinks they're getting ready to get away, and all of a sudden, like at 1,000 miles an hour, this shark just swoops in and grabs them. Or like this stupid scene at the end where that great white shark, it feels like it leaps like 20 feet up into the air and all this stuff. And you're like, this is all just, it's like make believe. It's just stupid. You're not operating under any kind of rules, or like you said, finding at least a different angle to make the animal scary. Like it's just such a fail in so many ways.
Absolutely. Well, Andy, we've already given Thrash way too much time because this
We
is,
have. Yeah.
these bad movies don't go like these episodes don't deserve to be more than 30 minutes because the movies are not good.
They
But
don't.
sometimes you also just have to rant. Sometimes bad movies get more time. That's why Madam Web, I think, is still our longest episode yet because sometimes you just have to
That's
let
amazing.
loose on how bad a movie is. And I actually, after watching this movie, I couldn't wait, Andy, to get on this episode and talk about how bad it was for you because I had 100% certainty that you also were not going to enjoy this movie.
It's a safe bet to just assume someone's not going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah. I guess I should have gotten Rotten Tomato score real quick. Critics 35%, audience 28%. So, you know, low scores, just like it deserves. Once again, we'll have no idea
Yeah.
if the will be considered a success. I have a feeling that this is probably getting the streaming numbers that Netflix wants, and that's what's really annoying.
It's really, really annoying. What a terrible weekend for streaming movies at home.
Just a terrible weekend for movies, right? Because we talk about like nothing
Yeah.
interesting came out in theaters. What a great opportunity for a streamer to kind of like put out something good and go like, hey, there's nothing good in the theater. Look what we've got for you. Instead, it's like, hey, there's nothing good in theater. Let's put out some trash, which is what's so funny because every time I write thrash, my autocorrect wants to say, are you trying to say trash? And I'm like, basically, yeah, might as well.
The autocorrect knows. It's just trying to be like, no, just put trash.
Yeah. Now, now we know what you meant. We were just trying to help you out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What a disaster.
Yep, total disaster. Well, hopefully we will be back in theaters again this coming weekend. Um, I should have had this ready to go. I can't even remember what's coming out this coming
The
weekend, Andy.
Mummy.
I'm just so upset about it. The Mummy. Oh gosh, maybe I don't know if we'll be back in theaters, Andy. I'm so
I
desperate to
know.
see something good in theaters, though. Maybe I will go check out The Mummy. But man, I don't need another Mummy movie. I need another Mummy movie like I need another Shark movie, Andy.
Exactly. I know. It's that's why I was like, are we getting that bad where I'm gonna have to go see the Mummy, like the gory, grisly version of the Mummy?
Yeah, I mean, geez, is that?
That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, there is. I. That's all that I've heard of. A comedy called Bus Boys. I don't know what that is. A documentary called
It's got
Mourn.
Theo Vaughn in it.
Mm. An action movie called Normal. What are these
Don't even
movies?
know what that is.
Uh, yeah, so like I don't know, Andy. Gosh, I'm ready for
Uh,
summer movie season. I'm ready for those stretches where we're like, man, good movie after good movie, week after week. Summer can't get here
we
soon
just got to
enough.
keep telling ourselves at some point we'll get to do the Odyssey and we'll get to do Spider Man and we'll get to do Disclosure Day and better times are coming. Hopefully,
That's right. Yes, better times are ahead. All right. Well,
yes.
in the meantime, everybody, I hope you are also staying optimistic. And you know what? What a great time this is, this time of year right now, to go back and watch some movies maybe that you missed. Go watch our best of 2025 episode and get some recommendations of some
Yeah.
movies maybe you missed from that year. It's a great opportunity now to be watching them because there's not a lot of great new stuff.
No, go see the drama, which, like we said, is the discussion movie of the year so far.
That's right. Yeah, check out the drama. That's a good one. I still want to hear more people's thoughts on that one.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, listening to us trash thrash, and we will see you guys again next week where we're talking about something. Might be the Mummy. I don't know.
Who knows? See you next week.